What's up, riders? Old Man Ronin here. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, we're going to do a comparison between the Iron 883 Sportster and, of course, the Meteor 350. What the f? It's going to be a really strange comparison. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's a chilly one today. We started out, I think it was 19 degrees when I first started out this morning. It's warming up a little bit now. You can see some of the frost over there. But I thought it'd be a perfect day. Turn my turn signal off. Well, I thought it'd be a perfect day to do a comparison on the Sportster Iron 883 and the Meteor 350. Now, before you guys get all flubbered up, I know there's a tremendous difference in engine size, like 500 cc's, and that's okay, because what I'm trying to do is to show you guys the comparison between these motorcycles, which they are both cruisers. This is an ultralight cruiser, and I would suggest that the Sportster is a light cruiser. So it's not really a fair comparison, but I think it's a good comparison. And the reason why I say that is because the Iron 883 is the smallest motorcycle that Harley-Davidson makes at this time. They did make other ones a couple years back, but as of right now, it's the smallest cruiser that they actually make. And of course, this is the smallest cruiser that Royal Enfield makes, and I thought it'd be a good comparison on what they are actually all about. Now, the Iron 883 that I'm going to talk about and ride here in a little bit, I'm going to tell you that it has been heavily modified by me for Iron Lady. And what's kind of cool is because this bike here, Iron Lady wants to own as well. So it's going to be a good comparison between the two and what she likes better about this one or what she likes better about the Iron. And I'm going to give you my opinion on what I like better about this one and what I like better about the Iron. Like I said, as far as, let's throw out the engine size right away and talk about everything else. And the first thing you got to understand is the fact that they're both small cc engines for the particular manufacturer that is making them. Like I mentioned earlier, the Iron is the smallest cruiser style bike in the Harley-Davidson fleet as we speak, and of course this is as well too the smallest cruiser that Royal Enfield is making at this particular time. And well, it's the only cruiser they're making right now. I mean, there's rumors and probables that they're going to introduce a 650 version of Meteor or a Shotgun or whatever. Again, I don't have any outside or inside information. I just know what I'm seeing online, and I did really like that SG 650, what they introduced at the European show here in England a couple months ago, and it was you know, it's pretty cool. But let's get to the basics. They both have really comfortable seating positions. I'll tell you what, I really like the way this bike feels, and like I said, we're going to put in right now what I think about the Sportster.
The Sportster to me has always been basically a heritage style bike. It literally was the first motorcycle other than dirt bike that I actually owned, and I got my very first one when I was 14 years old. It happened to be a 1966 XLCH, which was 1,000 cc's. That I bought it wrecked and was able to rework it up and get it running, put knobby tires on it, and rode it all over the place. It was without a doubt held a special place in my heart, and so have Sportsters over the years. I've probably had about 4 or 5 in the last 35, 40 years, and including not only Iron 883 we have right now, but also my 1200 Sportster that I have that you've seen in some of the past videos. But the Iron 883 is a beautiful bike to me. It is without a doubt, I think, one of the prettiest motorcycles that Harley-Davidson does make to this time, and I really, really do enjoy it. It's a great motorcycle. I've ridden 883s to California several times, and pretty much all over the Midwest and around the Great Lakes as well too. It's a great motorcycle that can do a lot of different things.
Now, I'm not a stats guy or a numbers guy. I really could care too craps about it. I mentioned that several times before. It's all about the experience for me, not necessarily how much horsepower, how much torque each motorcycle rides. It's the feeling that I get while I'm riding it. And so with that said, I will put the stats up here for you guys who are number freaks right now. Well, I didn't have to turn my turn signal off. The first thing I got to get used to riding this Sportster again is I do not have a heel shifter. And yeah, and the seating position is a lot more spread out. What I mean by that is I'm leaning a little bit more forward than I do on the Meteor. I'm more sitting straight up on the Meteor than I am on the Sportster. And my feet are farther ahead than on the Meteor 350 as well too. So yeah, as far as a comfortable seating position, I would say that the Meteor 350, as far as a long distance motorcycle, definitely has an edge over the Iron 883, because the Iron, albeit it is a comfortable seat, and just like the Meteor, they're about similar as far as the seat. Now, this isn't the stock seat that came on this motorcycle. It is a stock Harley seat, but it came off of a newer model Iron 883, and it is a lot more comfortable than the one that came on it by far. But that's one of the upgrades that we did to this motorcycle for Iron Lady. I do have to say one thing though, guys. These KemiMoto gloves, I have them set at number 2, the green level, and they really are warm. I'm not feeling any kind of air getting through them, and it is keeping my hands really warm in this 19-degree temperature. So as far as acceleration, by far this motorcycle has it over the Meteor 350. But then again, like I mentioned when I first got on the Meteor, that it's not really a fair comparison engine-wise. Let's look at the other factors. And the other factors are the rider triangle is far superior on the Meteor than it is on this one, and that's no doubt. If this thing had mids, I would say it might be a little bit more comfortable, but I am still leaning a little bit more forward than I am on the Meteor, and that's because of the handlebars are a different style. And you can, again, that's one of the beautiful things about motorcycles, is you can put new or aftermarket things on them to get them to the way you want them. But as far as for stock, again, I'm over 6'2", and the Meteor really is comfortable. I would say more comfortable than the Iron 883. Now, the Iron 883, what does it have? A lot more get up and go. It really does have a lot more power, but again, it's 500 cc's bigger, so throw that out of the equation and let's talk about some of the other things. One of the primary things I think on this bike that is superior to the Meteor is the fact that it has better rear brakes. They're not perfect by all stretches of the imagination, but as far as how they bring this bike to a stop, I mean, it's right now. And that's one thing that I wish that the Meteor had that it doesn't have, is a better set of brakes on it. It really does. Again, the Sportster's heavier. You've seen the stats in that last part of the video, but I mean, this thing will it'll come to a stop. Now, it does not have ABS, and you notice back there, you could feel my rear end start to slide out from under me because I stopped so fast that it locked up on this cold weather. But as far as oop, I reached for the heel shifter. No! But as far as this thing, acceleration wise, again, that's not a fair comparison. As far as handling, they handle very similar. I would say maybe the Sportster handles just a little bit better in the corners, but not a lot. It's negligible is what I'll say. The Sportster really does a good job. I mean, it really does a good job. This is a fantastic motorcycle, without question. And again, it is a lot faster, but we're throwing that part out, remember? For any kind of riding, this bike here is just superb. It really does do a good job. And like I said, I've ridden 883s cross country, and I would not be afraid to ride this one cross country either. The bike does a phenomenal job what you ask it to do. And again, that's the whole idea. A little bit of ice there that we mentioned on the other video, still there, but so impressed with these gloves, even at high speed, guys. I'm telling you, we hit 80 miles an hour there just in a matter of seconds. Again, it's not my fastest bike by far. The fastest bike we have is a tie between the 1250 Sportster and the Road King. But all in all, I'll tell you, the handling of this motorcycle, if this was mine, again, this is not my motorcycle, this is Iron Lady's. If this was my motorcycle, I would have a different set of bars on it. I definitely would. I'd also have, the forward controls are fine, but I would definitely have a different set of bars on it to bring them back a little bit farther, so I'm not leaning forward as much as I am. It's just not a comfortable riding position for a cruiser style bike. And to be honest with you, if I was going to lean forward, I'd want mid controls. One of the problems I have with the setup of the Sportster S is the fact that you're leaning forward and your feet are really forward. That is uncomfortable as heck. That's almost as uncomfortable as, well, I would say it's even more uncomfortable than a sport bike. So that's a whole other story. A rider triangle is the most important thing. I'll put a picture of Iron Lady on the Meteor 350 and show you what I mean by the rider triangle. But this bike is a lot of fun, guys. It really does everything you ask it to do. Again, is it more comfortable as far as riding? I would say by far the Meteor has it beat as far as a cruising style motorcycle. As far as a bar hopper or something that you're going to just go place A to B pretty fast, this bike will do it pretty quickly. Now, it's not a sport bike, neither one of them are, but what both of them are motorcycles that do light and ultralight cruising with virtually no issues whatsoever. The difference is the way that you're sitting in the rider triangle. Guys that maybe have longer arms than I do might not have the issue that I'm having, as far as me being not as comfortable on this bike as what I would be on the Meteor 350. But I'm saying that it's a fantastic bike. So as we're riding down here, we'll talk a little bit more between the handling and also the way that this bike feels as far as a bike for long-term, long distance. If I had to make a decision on riding this bike to California or riding the Meteor 350, I would probably take the Meteor 350 for pure comfort level. It truly is a more comfortable motorcycle than this. And again, we own this. We don't own the 350. So in conclusion, let's what would I if somebody asked me which motorcycle between these two I would buy? You really think I'm going to give you an answer on that? I'll be honest, guys, whatever you can afford. This motorcycle is probably around $11,000 now, and the Meteor is what, $5,000? So without me telling you what to do, I think I'm telling you what to do. I love this bike, and we will never sell this motorcycle. This has a lot of emotional equity to not only Iron Lady but myself as well too. I love the look of this motorcycle. It is beautiful. And if you guys noticed in the thumbnail, I put the Stealth Black version along with the black version of the Iron 883, and I think they're both beautiful looking. I think the Iron 83 has that a little bit more on looks. I think the Iron 83 is a beautiful motorcycle. This is a gorgeous bike. But the Stealth is really pretty as well too. Well, I really hope you enjoyed the first video of 2022, guys. and this unfair comparison between the Harley-Davidson Iron 883 and of course the Royal Enfield Meteor 350. But I think we learned a lot, that if you're looking for a bike for pure comfort, between the two, the Meteor is far more comfortable. Obviously, I'm not including the amount of power that the Iron has, as comparatively speaking. Now, I'm telling you what, if a better comparison would be between, let's say, the Super Meteor or the Shotgun 650 and the Iron, we'll see if we can't get one of those when they finally come out. Well, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell notification, guys. Smash it as hard as you possibly can. And make sure you know every time Old Man Ronin turns out a new video. Until next time, guys, ride safe, have the happiest of New Year's, and keep her on two wheels, baby. Now let's go fast.